Well, the importance of indoor air quality has never been more important in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. EnviroKlenz is an indoor air quality company that specialises in air purification systems. For more though, let's bring in the Vice President of Operations at EnviroKlenz, George Negron. Hi, George.
Hello, thank you for having us today. Very honored to be here.
Thank you, George. Likewise, and thank you so much for your time on Ticker. Now, can you tell us a little bit about EnviroKlenz and what you guys do?
Oh, absolutely. So EnviroKlenz is a very interesting company. We actually take an innovative what was once a military grade technology and we actually commercialize it into the marketplace, whether it's for a business, a commercial application, or for the home use. And we specialize in indoor air quality. So as you can imagine during the pandemic, we've been a very popular company these days.
I was just about to say to you, I can imagine that your industry has seen major increases due to the demand on clean air quality indoors. I mean, what was the impact of the pandemic on your industry exactly? What actually happened, I guess, before the pandemic hit? And then what sort of increases did you see once it hit?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, we were actually growing. So the company itself was scaling right prior to the pandemic, which I think allowed us to adjust to it very nicely. So when the pandemic came, we already had built quite a footprint in the industry, but when it did come, everyone was calling on us. I mean, industries you wouldn't expect before, schools, dental offices, medical offices, everyone is really concerned and hyper focused on the air quality and what can they do. And for us, it really made us happy because air quality should always be top of mind. You know, we're worried about the food we eat, we're worried about what's in the water that we drink. And we take what's in our air for granted at times. So I think at the pandemic, if we bought anything, we bought this hyper awareness. And we're glad as a company, to see this kind of education that we could bring on and this value added product. And it's something that I believe will be a staple in every business, every home, post pandemic. So for us,
Yes.
it really gave us a great business surge. But at the same time, we were ready and prepared for it.
Yes, I totally agree. And I mean, it definitely extends on to hotels and schools. And in order to get, kids back to school safely and all of that kind of thing, and air quality is so important. I mean, what are the biggest changes that you've seen this year in regards to air quality?
I believe it's just the actual science and I guess the research behind it. Most folks took for granted what a good air purification system is. So most of the time they bought something on the low end side when it came to price. I think folks have become very well researched. The internet has allowed folks to really understand what is 99.9% removal, what size particulate is it trapping, how many air exchanges. So a lot of good conversations being had on high levels and right down to the consumer level. And I think folks are really also concerned, where is this product being made? What is the warranty? What is the shelf life? How does it affect my family? So I think a lot of good questions being asked, a lot of very good conversation on air quality. And as you can imagine here at EnviroKlenz, it makes us really happy to have them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great for your industry. Is it important, I guess, would you advise, as a specialist in this industry, would you advise consumers to invest in air purification? I guess you're always
Oh,
going to say yes because
absolutely.
it's your business, but I guess is it
Well,
important that they do invest in this?
yeah, absolutely. I think good air quality, there's many medical studies tied to air quality from productivity just to longevity in life and just good health. So I see investing in our air is one of the most important things we can do. We spend a lot of time and effort in our diets, in the products that we choose to bring into our homes. So why not your air? So I think air quality is going to be, the top three things it's going to be spoken about. And the pandemic has really taught us that, anything can happen and it can be in the air. So why not be prepared beforehand?
Definitely. In regards to air purification systems, what should we actually be looking out for? I mean, what's good and what's not?
I think looking at emerging technologies, I think just like everything else has innovated, everything else has gotten more advanced. So I think being open-minded. So when you're looking at a technology, there's a lot of emerging technologies like EnviroKlenz. And I think the validation speaks for itself. Make sure it's been third-party tested. Make sure it's been validated. Ask all the good questions. What can this do for my home? How safe is it? And I think once you start checking those boxes, you'll shrink down the offerings, but you'll find the best product for your application.
Absolutely. Now, I know that your business works between the US and Europe. What's the difference, in your opinion, between the air quality, I guess, concerns between the two nations?
Well, I think there's a lot of crossover actually, more so than anything. And I believe going into the European market, I believe they were more safety conscious. They were looking at things from the chemical aspect side of things, the VOCs and the particulates, where the US I would say more vigilant during the pandemic about the virus removal and bacteria and microorganisms. So I think everyone's very vigilant and hyper aware of what's in the air now. So I think there's a lot of crossovers and similarities.
Yes. Well, what's next for your business in regards to EnviroKlenz? What do you see for your focus for the rest of the year ahead?
Well, we want to keep meeting demand and we actually want to exceed demand, and we'll be innovating, creating new products, new applications, new sizes. So we're going to have an application that fits all sizes. So a lot of innovation, a lot of moving. We'll be producing in Germany soon. So we're really excited about that. So a lot of good coming.
It's such an important industry, and I definitely do think that we're going to see many similar businesses such as yours evolving because the importance of it is becoming such a priority for people around the globe. Where do you think the future of air quality is heading, though?
Well, I think it's heading in every industry that you can touch on, from transportation to hospitality to the education system down to the home. So I think anytime something's being constructed or remodeled, I think they're going to look at the air quality, the air ventilation. And I don't think it just stops at the medical world. I think it actually crosses over into multiple businesses. So I think it's going to finally be in the top three conversations. It's going to be a conversation starter. And, actually being in the air quality business is good for us, but I think it's good for everyone.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for coming on to talk about your successful business. It's been really interesting and definitely an important topic. From here at Ticker, we wish you all the best with everything.
Likewise, thank you very much for having me.